Next up, we have object info. The object info rollout is specifically for the unwrapped modifier. Let's select this plane here, and we're going to click Process Selection. While we process the selection, we see that the texture vertex count is selected for a percentage. And since we have 9 and then 4 verts per, because it's all split, that's 36. So we have 36 verts where 416 should be. Okay. Now, let's get into this a little further. Texture verts 36, UV elements 9, geo verts 16. Oh, the information was already there. The area of the UV space. Now, all these things are not perfectly calculated, but they are rather close. If you see something that's drastically wrong, please tell me. I built this a long time ago, and I haven't paid much attention. I use the section sometimes, but I don't use it for every bit of information there. So please tell me if something's very wrong. We can hover over the transform information here, and we see the matrix information. We have UV gizmo transform. I'm neither here nor that on what information that provides. I've tried to do things with the UV transform, but I haven't really had much success with getting certain things into play. Could just be me. I mean, could just be me. And let's get into this. Select this treasure chest top. We're going to go into 3 and then select all and load selection. So if we do not want to select all and load selection, we need to have at least a polygon selected, right? Let's see, click off, load selection. See, you can't load nothing, so you need to have something selected. And what we get here is, I need to show you something specific. So let's open up the UV editor window. To get to this issue, I need to go to the U so I can edit a U. So sometimes when you're working on things, your coordinates on the U will change somehow. And you need to be able to fix that. And I have a way to fix that, but I also have to show you what that looks like first. So let's, okay, that's not really helping me. Let's go back to VW to see if I can get something to move there. What is going on? There we go. Finally. So this is putting something into the W. So we go back to preview the UV. So when you're working on certain functions in Max UV, you can unintentionally move vertices into the W, especially if you're working on vertex color and you move things around, right? So what we're going to do now is load that selection. We're going to select it and then load the selection. And what we see here is Area UV has this button over here that's turned red. It says U, V, and 0. And there's a asterisk afterwards. The purpose for this is, and watch the space used below, and we're going to zero out the W just by clicking this. So what that's going to do is going to remove all of the positions for the W and make them 0. It's going to reduce your file size to an extent based upon what information and how many vertices are placed in the W information therefore. So if you have a lot of W information, it can wipe it out and save you a lot of file size. So I'll just left click that. You see that our used UV space was reduced from what, 76% down to 47%. Okay. So the UV space doesn't necessarily matter for file size, but the W coordinates that are placed into the file will. So those are now wiped down to 0. All right, let's continue further into this. We don't have a material added onto this object, so we can add one right now. Okay, let's just bring this up. I'm just going to grab a basic physical material and add it to the object. Let's select that and load it into the selection. Now we have physical material, the material name, those transform informations. We have material ID. That number is set there for 1. The map channels, there's 3 of them. That's 1, 2, and 3. We have coordinate system for min, max, and center of the entire selection here. So we have the entire object selected. So I'm going to just select the inner cap part and then load that into the selection. You see we have different numbers now for min, max, and center. All right. We can also get information from different material IDs. Let's see. We can go here and take all of our elements that we have for UVs, shift and click on the elements to material IDs setting. We're going to turn off this material override, and we're going to turn on this temporary material override, which is not the same as the system override. This is just per object user custom temporary overriding. And you can see here that we have materials there. And I'm now going to select the object again. Let's grab it all and load that selection. You can see material IDs. We have 84 of them. But if I just select this one set, which should be material 1, and we load that selection, it just says material 1. So we don't even need to have this visible. We can right-click to turn that off, or even alt-click to remove the materials altogether. And I can right-click to replace my material for what it was before I added the temporary material ID material. Yes, this is a lot to absorb, I understand. We can now double-click that section and load that. We can see that that is only material ID 1. We can double-click here, load that selection. That's only material ID 18. Okay? So there you go. That's that object info section. If you'd like to see additional information added here, let me know. The layout of this is a little strange. I get it, but I'm not sure what else to say. Let me just show you the other one real quick. So in SSUV wide, this is when I first created this object info rollout. And let's bring this over here. If I can get this over here quick. There we go. If this is located somewhere on your screen, you can just select this again, SSUV wide. Well, that had to reload something. I need to fix something there. But you can select SSUV wide, and that will just pop it right to your mouse. You can see how that goes. You can go into turtle mode. Place this somewhere down here. There we go. SSUV wide, it pops up. There you go. So anyways, back to business. Let's go into object info. We have this selected. We have process selection. So this is a much better layout. So it's possible that I'll turn this object info rollout into a dialog that can be docked, and then you can just have information as you need it. All right? Because this is much easier to read and file through. Okay? Than it is for this other one. So let's go to SSUV tall. Okay, and let's see, object info. And there we are. We're back here. I guess it's not the end of the world, but, you know, it could be better.